Now let me solve one problem using if-elif-else statement. It is a nested problem. It will take nested statements. Problem number 3. X equals to 50, y equals to 65, z equals to 65. If y is greater than x, also if x is not equal to z, and if x is less than z, then print off y equals to z. If y equals to z and x is greater than z, then take print of x is greater than z. If z is greater than x or y is not equal to z, also if x is greater than y, then take print of x is greater than y. Else print of x is less than y and z. Now when you run this program, you will get at the end y equals to z. This will be the output of this program when you run it. Look, I have three variables: x equals to 50, y equals to 65, and z equals to 65. If y is greater than x is my first condition, it is my first statement. This is the second statement, which is a statement inside the first statement. Similarly, the third is also a statement inside the statement. Similarly, the fourth is also a statement inside another statement. Look at here, my first statement is if y is greater than x. This is the outermost statement, outermost condition. The second one comes inside another statement. Similarly, the third one comes inside another statement. The fourth one comes inside another statement. So one statement comes inside another statement. That's why we call it nested statement. Nested statement. If the first condition is true, if the first statement is true, if the first condition is satisfied, only then the second condition will be executed. Similarly, if the second condition is true, only then the third condition will be executed. If the third condition is true, if this is satisfied, only then the fourth condition will be executed. If the fourth condition is true, if the fourth condition is satisfied, only then this print function will be printed in the final output. In case if the first condition is not satisfied, if the very first condition is not true, then the program will jump to the second option, which is elif. Similarly, if the second option is true, then the program will print this expression in the output, and the program will stop here. It won't jump to the third option. But what if the second option is not true? If the second option is not true, the program will automatically jump to the third option, elif. So if the third option is true, if it is satisfied, only then this nested statement will be executed. And if it is true, then the print function will be executed. Similarly, if this is true, only then this expression will be printed in the final output. But what if the third option is not satisfied, if it is not true? Then the program will jump to the last option, which is else. It will print this function. In case if all the above conditions are not satisfied, then the program will print this expression. This is the last and the final option. Now look at here. This program will only jump to the second option if the first condition is not satisfied. But what if the first condition is satisfied and the condition inside this condition is not satisfied? For example, the first one is satisfied and the second one is not satisfied. If the second one is not true, then the program will jump to the second option as well. Similarly, if the second statement is true, if it is satisfied, but the third statement is not true, the third statement is not satisfied, again the program will jump to the second option. But what if this statement is true, the second one is true, the third one is true, but the fourth one is not true, the fourth one is not satisfied, again the program will jump to the second option. The program will not jump to the second option only if the final condition is true, if this final condition is true. And finally, the program will print this expression y equals to z, and it will stop it here. But in case if any of this statement is false, it can be anyone. If a single statement is not satisfied here among all these four conditions, then the program will jump to the second option. If the second option is not true, then it will jump to the third option. If the third option is not true, then it will jump to the last option, which is the else statement. It works step by step. So it is the part of the nested statement. Look, we have used all the three statements here: if statement, elif statement, and else statement. It is the example of a nested statement because remember, a statement comes inside another statement. Similarly, a statement comes inside another statement. A statement comes inside another statement. Similarly, a statement comes inside another statement. Therefore, we call it nested statement. Nested statement programs. When you run it, you will get y equals to z. When you look to the very first condition, if y is greater than x, what is y? Y is my 65 and x is my 50. So 65 is greater than 5. Y is greater than x, therefore it is true. The condition is true. The statement is satisfied. Therefore the second statement will be executed because the first one is true. If the first one is not true, the second one will not be executed. But since it is true, therefore the second statement will be executed. Look at here what the second statement says. The second statement says that if x is not equal to z, x is my 50, z is my 65. Therefore 50 is not equal to 65, so x is not equal to z. Therefore the second statement is also true. When the second statement is true, only then the third statement will be executed. What is the third statement? The program comes here to the third statement then. From the first to the second, the program checks the first statement. If it is true, then it comes to the second statement. If it is true, then it comes to the third statement. What is third statement? If y equals to z, y equals to 65, z equals to 65. So 65 equals to 65. Therefore, this condition is satisfied. This statement is true. Y equals to z. Then the program comes to the fourth statement here. If x is less than z. If x is less than z. What is x? X is my 50. Z is my 65. So 50 is less than 65. Less than 65. Therefore the fourth statement is also true. It is satisfied. Since it is true, therefore this print function will print this expression y equals to z. Y equals to z. Therefore we have y equals to z in the final output. So the program will stop here because we got the right answer here in the very first part, in this very first part. So we don't need to jump to the rest of the part. It will stop here at this expression. The final output will be y equals to z.